Oasis, Eichenwald, and Dorado. And here, we're going to witness the latest change that I brought to AG. We're going to be moving all control points over to best of 3 to kind of replicate what's being done in competitive play. And tiebreakers are now best of 1. Should shorten down the length of the tournament and, create, before I get, I guess, a little bit more suspense in those best of 3s, while the best of 5s, they can kind of be really drawn out like we saw in the finals last week.
Yeah, I definitely like that change. I know we talked about it a lot last week and kind of went over some of the pros and cons and stuff like that. And I think the benefits definitely outweigh the cons, considering last week in the finals we actually had a player that almost had to step out due to time constraints, as it did wind up going pretty late. I mean, I think it was getting close to about 2 a.m. for me. So I think this will work out better. Though it certainly is going to be on the players now to make sure that they have all the maps covered, because obviously some of these, especially on best of 3, you might not get that map that you really like. We've seen that in AG in the past, where Control Center is a map that comes up and they're good on that, but they're not on the others, and it saves them that they can play on Control Center. That won't happen anymore. It's best of 3 here.
Certainly the case, and Z9-hourNRG is a team that we've seen plenty of in the past here, but I think they just changed up their name a couple of weeks ago. But we're getting over to Oasis getting started here. Like you said, a best of 3, so every round really going to matter here for both teams. On the blue, that's Z9-hourNRG. Over on red, Bunny Blasters, a team that's kind of come out of nowhere over the last month or so and really established themselves as a solid team in the Academy Gaming scene. But right away here, we're actually going to see Z9-hourNRG get off to a pretty strong start here. Wolf with that high ground advantage with 76.
So this is a newer composition, I guess, from Z9-hourNRG. I mean, in terms of compositions in general, it's definitely kind of a staple for a lot of teams and has been for quite some time. But Wolf, if you remember, and Apply, typically Wolf picks up that Tracer roll Apply on the Genji, of course. And this is a little bit of a swapperoo here, of course, as Wolf was really actually quite good on the Tracer before. So looking for that soldier play, and he's going to be really taking advantage of that high ground here.
Surprised not to see any Pharah right out of the gates here as well from either team, or I guess Doomfist, which seems to be what a lot of people are going for here. But a lot of high ground doesn't necessarily play to his advantage all the time. But Apply getting started with a pulse bomb kill, 1 for 1. But you got to remember, Diva almost out of the mech here for the side of Bunny Blasters might allow for Wolf to get some free reign with some of those 76 shots. But still contesting this one. Hippie going to be taken out of the mech up top here. Going to be good, like I said, for Wolf, but they get the flip regardless. Not much of a point presence coming out there for Z9.
Yeah, they were definitely just trying to deny LOS here for Wolf, and they did a great job of that. Not only that, but they take him out as well here, Storm, and we will see that flip not only coming through, but also secured by Fitz, pulling out that Transcendence, and I think a little bit of a mistake, a little error in play there coming out from Z9-hourNRG to make sure that they didn't, lose that point. They had the people, they had the presence.
It's big that Transcendence came through, because Imroot doesn't have the sound barrier, and Wolf now can utilize that tactical visor, not really having to worry about that Transcendence. Pulse Bomb out, gets it started though. That's a good pickup, because Plasma Stake was ready to go to initiate with the Transcendence, but they're going to be forced to back off of this one here. Cut their losses, give up the lead here in the first round here, and see if they can find a pick. And now there's going to be a sound barrier ready to go from Bunny Blasters as well, so Wolf is going to have to be very wary of that.
We'll see George Lion probably trying to get a little aggressive with this blade here. Apply might look to try to deny him. I mean, Apply, a seasoned Genji player himself, probably aware of the fact that this man is holding onto this blade. I mean, it's been a while here. 60% up for Bunny Blasters. Can Vile Virtues get in here? Blade comes out from George Lion.
Can he find anything? It's going to be into a Transcendence, and Attack Visor comes around the corner. That's going to force him over the wall, but he did have the support of the sound barrier, but ultimately wasn't enough to really get a whole lot. Neither of those ultimates from either side really getting much value here, but in the end, Z9 have the numbers on the point here. Have to worry about Benji with that Primal Rage, but he's going to be taken down in just a moment, you'd have to imagine. He might actually take it out. No, he's going to die with the rest of his team here. Kind of a late death, but still putting up 80% onto the board.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, Z9-hourNRG is a little slow to take back, I would say, given the fact that they did have momentum holding on to that point and then just kind of just let it go and had to go crawling back to their spawn with their tail between their legs a little bit. Apply now getting close to having that Pulse Bomb, looking for an opportunity to shut down one of these tanks, or perhaps Fitz in the back, throws the Pulse Bomb, not going to find anything, though.
Sound barrier initiation coming out here from the side of Ricky and Z9. They're going to throw a self-destruct, try to disperse these guys, and actually worked pretty well, maybe catching out George Lion. No, it's going to be Hippie by Day, saving him there with the defense matrix. Good play coming out from the D, but now up to 90% here for the side of Z9. They win this fight. They take the round. Transcendence from Fitz gets it started. They're going to move into this one. They have a pulse bomb from Son of God. I don't even know if they're going to need it right now. It's a 2-for-1 trade right here, and they're really piling on to Guru Lulz on the point. Curex, he doesn't have much left here, and it looks like the flip should come through. Bunny Blasters are going to be able to get it in overtime.
They will be able to steal this point away, but they have one more fight that they have to hold out on. Luckily for them, they have some ults coming up here. I am Root, going to be the main one I'm looking at. George Lion pulled his blade out in that last fight. Didn't really find all too much. Now going to have another opportunity here. And we'll have to see if maybe he can get a little bit more out of it than the last time. I mean, this is only his second blade so far of this round. Now Winston already getting aggressive, looking straight for Fitz in the back line. George Lion all over him.
Sorry, Son of God, man. He just came out with a big pulse bomb. I was looking for him up top here. He found one onto Wolf while he had Tactical Visor ready to go. He wasn't able to use it, and I think Bunny Blasters have it.
They'll definitely be able to take this here, Storm, and they keep everybody alive in that last fight. I mean, we did see some aggression coming out from Vile Virtue, just getting into that backline, but, you know, didn't really have the presence alongside him. They needed that Diva Guru to just, you know, make sure that he can get into that position, cover him with the defense matrix, and try to make a play off of that. But, you know, just in desperate, you know, moments like that, it's going to be tough to actually get into that position and really kind of get something going without, you know, Ricky having that ult going into it, Plasma Snake being ready, being able to get that Transcendence up there very quick. So now they're going to basically be kind of staring down the barrel of potentially losing this first map here, as again, best of 3.
No one was really keeping Son of God in check on the Tracer, and you'd have to imagine that was Apply trying to apply the same amount of pressure into the backline, but he really wasn't able to get anything going. And now we're going to see him move to a Genji and Wolf back on the Tracer, something you had touched on earlier. As a hero, we see a lot from him nowadays here. Son of God to 76. So a couple of change-ups coming out on both sides. We'll see what they really make of it. And if Apply can match what George Lion's been able to do, and right away it's Vile Virtues getting caught out of position up top and potentially forcing the rest of his team to move out of this. I just can't see a good situation for them to move in off of that 5-on-6 here. They potentially might have to give this one up, though they do have Vile coming off a respawn, might be able to contest this if they get Guru on the point.
So something to note here, Wolf and Apply swapping back, Apply going over to the Genji that really was putting in some work onto them, and then now they're going to have that presence. Vile Virtue's taken down quite early though, not going to have a tank in this one, and Wolf falls as well.
Second time getting the fight started. Vile Virtue's the one to get caught out of position, just in a bad spot, didn't have the support from the rest of his team. Now George Lion in the back looking to find a late couple of kills if possible, but Hippie by Day again saving in there with the defense matrix, making sure he keeps himself alive. And now they're going to be able to come up on a sound barrier. Ricky only at 50%, but could be good because Apply is coming up on a Dragon Blade here. What he can actually get done with it, Urix.
It's all going to come down to Guru here. With this composition, you need this man to make sure that he can get his Winston into position. Does a good job this time around. Vile Virtue still falls, but at least they have everybody else in place. Apply coming out with the blade, holding on somehow, and that's going to be the self-destruct. Can he find the kill?
That was a big transcendence from Plasma Snake, keeping Apply alive in the fight with the Dragon Blade. Now it's George Lion trying to turn it around. Finds 2 for himself. Should be able to clean this up. They have the support of that Primal Rage from Benji to prolong the fight if they need it. Vile Virtues is back into the fight late here, and Bunny Blasters maintain control after George Lion turns it around, and they hold on to that Tactical Visor from Son of God.
That's going to be huge going into this next fight because they don't really have anything to deny it. I mean, Vile Virtues and Guru can do all they can to just jump on top of him and try to, you know, either push him off the map or at least kind of deny him some of that free fire onto the backline. But George Lion already slowing down the pace of that fight by taking Wolf completely out of the picture. And, oh, you know, that Wolf Tracer that was so potent the last couple times that we saw it here in AG has been quite silent, I would say, so far in this map here. They're
just looking to find a way to get into this fight. Finally, Guru gets back into the mech here. So we're waiting on him to get back into that one. But even so, here, they're up to 80%. This could be the final fight of the map here. Hippie by Day, though, caught in a rough spot here. He might be taken down early. That's going to be big for the side of no. Tactical Visor comes out from Son of God. Can he find anything? He's on the low ground. Good play from Guru to get in his face with the defense matrix, but he has the support of that Transcendence coming out from Fitz. I still think that Z9 have this one in the bag. Excellent start to the fight, getting rid of the Diva.
And they're going to have some ultimates, too, coming up pretty soon. Ricky making sure that they had every bit of health that they needed with that barrier coming out for Sound Barrier. And, you know, Plasma Stake getting kind of close here. Going to look to try to get some healing over to this man right now. He's at around 80%, still healing up Guru Lulz. And, you know, the higher he can get, the better. Trying to get some poke damage out as well. So they have that Transcendence option when George Lion pulls out that blade pretty soon here.
They're just going to play this very aggressively right now as Vile Virtues tries to take care of Benji. Even so, getting rid of Fitz early on basically means you're not going to have a whole lot of support there for that Winston, so he's going to be taken out of the picture here. And Z9 holding on to all of their ultimates other than that Primal Rage, which I think was a good move from Vile to try to disperse them and get rid of Benji there. So looking pretty solid here at 40%.
The main thing here is that it gives them space to catch Ricky up a bit because, you know, I Am Root coming up with a sound barrier of his own. Fitz is behind a little bit, but Ricky right now at 67%. That's good for them because they have that space to get applying Plasma Snake in the next fight, and then they'll have that sound barrier for the one after that, and that might be enough to carry them over and take a point here.
Oh, Vile again. He's just caught out of position. Good 6-on-1 push there into the corner. Takes care of the Winston, and the Dragon Blade's out. I think Apply might have an opportunity to pull this back, though, as he gets a kill off to I Am Root. He picks up 2 for himself, though it looks like Bunny Blasters have the numbers on the point right now. They have a Winston prolonging the fight again. Guru gets his own self-destruct off, gonna try to find a kill, but with Vile Virtues getting taken out so early here, he's now back into the fight here, giving them an even matchup. Pulse Bomb onto Guru, makes the stick, gets him out of the mech here, gonna eliminate that defense matrix threat, but we're at 85%, and Bunny Blasters be forced to pull out here and look for one final engagement.
This is such a great opportunity here for Z9-hourNRG. Fitz coming up with the Transcendence pretty soon, but if they can get aggressive, if Apply and Plasma Stake can, you know, jump in there with Wolf and really just put the pressure onto Fitz, deny that Transcendence from coming out, they'll have Ricky with that sound barrier. We talked about how much that meant that we saw Vile Virtues just throwing them around so we could get that ult up. This is what it's going to cost right here.
Fitz taken out just before he could get the Transcendence up was huge here. I don't think it's actually going to matter, though, as they're raking up the kills. Vile Virtues coming up on a ultimate, but he's not going to have it ready to go to prolong this one. This is going to be a flip. Bunny Blasters should be able to pull this one back here. They are going to end up taking the second round here, and like we said, it's a best of 3 on control point now, and that's going to be Bunny Blasters taking a map #1 victory here in the round of 8.
Man, but not with Z9-hourNRG just coming back and trying to surge back into that one. Very, very close on that second map. Excited to see what they're going to pull out on the actual second map here in this set. What is the actual second map in this set, actually?
Eichenwald.
Eichenwald. That is interesting, actually. Curious to see what that's going to what that's going to look like because, I mean, so far we've seen, honestly, I mean, George Lion has been very consistent with the Genji. We've been seeing him pull it out quite a lot. Hippie by Day has pretty much always been on the Diva, whereas Z9-hourNRG, I feel like, has a lot of room to kind of work with, a lot of options. Apply, of course, with the Pharah backup as well. We've seen him pull that out. We've seen him be very, very strong with that. So I'm curious to see if we're going to be, you know, witnessing that Pharah Mercy action, if that's going to have some kind of impact if it does come out, or if the same old from Bunny Blasters is going to prove to be effective even still. I mean, they have looked good. They had a quick little hiccup, and they're taking on a team with, I would say, a pretty stacked roster in terms of, you know, individual names and stuff, but we'll have to see. I mean, Eichenwald, anything can happen.
Really can on this map. I'm curious to see if we're going to have any Doomfist or Pharah come out, something we didn't see at all on Oasis, which is a little surprising not to at least see the Pharah there. So with that in mind, Hurix, Doomfist kind of, you know, I don't want to call it a flavor of the month, but it is very, I mean, he's a very strong hero, has a lot of synergy with several heroes. You know, you've seen a lot of teams in the Overwatch contenders try to use McCree to take him down, or maybe, you know, maybe these players just aren't practice Doomfist players like we've seen in some of the professional scene over the last couple of weeks here. I'm curious to see if we're going to have any of that tonight. I'd imagine at some point tonight we're going to see it. It's very exciting to watch, I think, in the AGs, to say the least, but it doesn't look like right away here we're going to have that from either team. Potentially Son of God breaking out the Pharah, though. We'll see if that's going to stay true. But Wolf now with the Sombra pick. Not sure if he's going to stick with this one. It looks like currently he is, so good to see the double support Sombra come out here from the defense.
Yeah, triple support in a way as well with Wolf.
Yep.
So, I mean, the composition that you would typically see Doomfist in is actually just in place of George Lion on that Genji. That is one of the 3, maybe 4 compositions that you typically see Doomfist in. One with McCree. You have that Pharah Mercy one that pops up a lot, which is the one that we're going to be seeing here. But again, not a Mercy with Son of God, so maybe he's going to make a swap, but it looks like he is going to stick with this. So he's going to be really relying on Fitz to make sure that he has that healing. Otherwise, Apply will be able to just take him completely out of the sky.
It's going to be really rough. Yeah, Apply. I mean, you've got Guru and Plasma Snake as well. Don't count out Plasma Snake on that Zenyatta. Excellent player on it. Has a lot of experience. Nice concussive blast, so able to get them off the high ground, and that's going to actually allow for Benji to jump into the back, look for that Lucio kill, and he's going to be dropped immediately here. Though Wolf, not quite where you want to see somebody with the EMP so far. Only at 40% here. He picks up a kill for himself, but there he's actually got up to 60, and I think they might have a chance to hold this off. Good regroup coming out here from Z9-hourNRG. They're going to press the advantage now, and they're probably going to be sitting on an EMP for this next fight, Pirix.
I actually would have liked to see a little bit more lethality there. I would have liked to see Z9-hour just kind of pull away with a little bit more kill, a little bit more kills racked up, but they're still pulling out some good ult charge. I just would have liked to have seen more onto Riki. If they were looking to actually hold this out, they really have to have those sound barriers ready. I mean, look at Root on the other side of things, 70%. They're going to get aggressive onto Apply here, and all that ultimate charge that he racked up might not matter if he dies off early.
Not the best EMP there from Wolf. Was only able to connect onto 1 or 2 people, it looked like there, who's just trailing them narrowly. Would have been nice to see him in the thick of the fight there, but George Line racking up a couple of kills. But again, Son of God is on the Pharah. He is not being touched whatsoever, launching these rockets into the back, and I think that's going to be a first point capture coming out for the side of Bunny Blasters. It looks like they should have a contest from D.Va if they want to, but I think they're going to pull out of this Hirix and look for a hold in the second phase of the map.
Yeah, you really would have liked some pressure going out onto that D.Va to at least deny some of that LOS. And Apply just wasn't really providing that. He was definitely focusing on those ground threats, which, is definitely a viable strat for a lot of teams. They've tried to pull that off, but they really needed some pressure onto that Pharah there to at least, again, just deny that Pharah just those free shots. Exactly what he's doing right now, Apply should have been doing on that first point. Benji here looking to try to get aggressive. IamRoot already pulling out that sound barrier here, and George Line following up with the blade, looking for Apply.
There's an EMP out, though. Is it enough to get anything done? Apply's already off the board here with Plasma Snake already using that Transcendence. He wasn't able to keep his teammates alive here, and that payload is going to continue to cruise forward. Great initiation set up there from IamRoot, speed boosting them off that sound barrier and pulling out the Dragon Blade up top from George Line here. It's another one-team fight. 4 minutes to go for this phase of the map, and look at what they were able to hold on in terms of their ultimates. They forced out everything from the side of Z9, and they retained 4 of their own.
Barrage held on by Son of God. So, a Mercy not in play here. Ooh, we almost saw Vile Virtues going off the edge there. But this pressure coming out from this Pharah without having that Mercy pocket is quite insane, considering the fact that they had that Soldier in play. Now we're going to be seeing Apply and Wolf switch places a little bit. Apply going over to the Tracer, Wolf going over to the Soldier. So they're just completely flopping.
Self-destruct initiation from Hippie by Day didn't really... I think he was trying to force them towards him, and it kind of worked, but it's not working in their favor here. Barrage out from Son of God. He finds his biggest threat in Wolf. They forced out a sound barrier as well from Riki a little too late to be able to save the Soldier 76 here, and they might be able to press forward off this, especially with George Line have the Dragon Blade, but no, they're going to back off of this one. Hippie by Day drops off the map. Can they find a late kill into George Line? They will here, but that payload on the bridge right now, and still retaining that Dragon Blade. George Line might be able to come up big in this next fight.
On top of that, we do see the Primal Rage reset at the ready as well, and really nothing looking like it's going to come online here other than Apply's Pulse Bomb. We'll have to see. I mean, in the past, Wolf has been pretty good with them, but we haven't seen as much from Apply. He's going to have an opportunity here to show us what he's got. They were all packed up there for a second, but already 2 kills coming out before he can even pull one out at all.
No one was in the backline there for Z9-hourNRG other than the 2 supports. They needed somebody there to be able to peel for that Dragon Blade, and it looked like Ricky tried his best to be able to boop him away, but it just wasn't enough. There was too much pressure on the front line to deal with, and that's another checkpoint in the bag here for Bunny Blasters, who have 3:30 to complete the map, and Eichenwald third is still a very difficult checkpoint to come up with here, so this could be a rough stage, but they go ahead and make a change with Benji, giving them that shield support of the Reinhardt.
And moving Son of God over as well to great effect when he moved over to that Soldier. He was able to do a lot of damage, create a lot of pressure, getting close to having that tack visor. That's going to be big for them as IronRoot holding onto that sound barrier. Maybe going to be popping it here if they want to get aggressive. They're stopped on that corner, looking for an opportunity to get back in there.
Still looking for an opportunity. Nice charge from Vile Virtues. I'm not sure if that one was really planned. That was like a couple of feet away from him, but a tactical visor up top, wasted by Son of God there as Wolf just came out ahead in that one big time. I don't know about that ultimate there. Still plenty of time to work with, but Hippie by Day and Son of God making the change-ups big time with Fitz over to the Ana. It looks like we're going to have the Beyblade strategy coming out here potentially here. We'll see how it works, but you know, we have seen a lot more Reaper coming in the mix, but mainly it's been against Sombras.
And Doomfist coming online as well. So they're making a complete swap up, making sure that they can try to generate these ults. IronRoot still holding onto that sound barrier. I think it was a little bit disjointed of an attack that we saw them going for things without actually pulling out that sound barrier, unless they were just trying to pull ults out, which could definitely be a possibility here. But again, the defense going to come through. They have a lot stacked up for themselves here, Storm. And look at this. Look what they've got online. Guru holding onto that. Oop.
Well,
my mic just cut out. There we go.
You did cut out for me. I was like, what happened there? But yeah, I think what they were going for there, Bunny Blasters wanted to force out some ultimates. They just changed 5 people over to 5 different heroes. And there was a couple of changes, granted, for Z9, but they already were sitting on some ultimates. So they wanted to get something out there. Regardless, they're still going to be going into 3 ultimates, but now they have something to work with. Dragon Blade's out there. Apply picks up 2 immediately into that Graviton Surge. It's going to be a clean sweep across the board, but again, Hurix, they got a few ultimates out. They don't have much time to work with, but they've got to get something going now. That can't be the same excuse for themselves, and the fact that Son of God has only got up to 30% is very disappointing, given he's been on the Reaper for a couple of minutes now.
They've just been denied. Z9-hourNRG holding onto all that momentum, getting aggressive with the way that they approach these fights. And look, they've already got 4 stacked up still. I mean, holding onto a lot of options here. We saw a lot of initial punch coming out from the attacking side. Now they're going to be coming in with the sound barrier.
Graviton Surge is out here, but Wolf has the Nano Visor up top. He gets put to sleep by Plasma Snake. They give the Nano Boost over to Son of God on the Reaper, but he's forced to Wraith Walk out of this one. He is still in the back line looking for something. They're racking up the kills, have an Earth Shatter to work with if they can get behind that shield of Vile Virtues, who charges into nothing here. Earth Shatter onto Guru. It was a solo Earth Shatter, but man, it works in their favor. Wolf needs to be dealt with up top. They've got the Doomfist back in play now. He's going to be taken out. That's going to be a map potentially completed. Death Blossom is on the point here. They complete the map with 23 seconds. A huge turnaround from Bunny Blasters, as man, that looked rough, but they pull through in the final fight.
Their ability to just stay alive at the end there, that was everything, because, you know, they didn't pack that initial punch that we were talking about right before that fight actually incurred, and, you know, they all they had to do is make sure that they kept everybody up. Son of God wasn't that close to the Death Blossom, needed to get a little bit of damage off with the remainder of that boost. I mean, Nano Boost was trickling off of him by the time he was actually even able to put any kind of real, like, you know, impactful damage out on the board, and finally found a kill onto Plasma Snake, who was on that Ana, which we'll see once again here. But, you know, after that, they were able to just kind of surge forward. We saw some pressure coming out onto the Lucio, backed him up. Some pressure coming out onto Vile Virtues, which took him out. He forced him to actually drop his shield and get aggressive to try to, you know, kind of slow down the pace of that attacking side. But again, Son of God was there with the Reaper to just kind of sweep him right up. So good stuff there from Bunny Blasters to secure that final objective. Now they're going to have to hold this one down. If they do, of course, Storm, they will be moving on into the semifinals. And that will be that for Z9-hourNRG. And what a what an early finish it would be for them.
And I think I gave the sleep dart credit to Plasma Snake. It was actually Fitz there. So he's the one who came up big with the sleep dart onto Wolf up top, who had that nano visor, a big play. I don't think that would have went in their favor if he didn't make that play, because Wolf was in such a good spot. And I don't think Doomfist was still in the mix. I think he had gotten taken out, if I'm not mistaken. So they really had no one to contest that high ground. They didn't have a diva there to be able to take care of him. And I think the Doomfist was kind of what they were relying on in that sense here. But they still came up with it with 23 seconds remaining, which is big that they finished with some time on the board. Now, if Z9-hourNRG do actually finish the map. But like you said, if this comes to a hold from the side of Bunny Blasters at any point throughout this map, they will be moving into the semifinals tonight. And I'd say, I don't even know if I want to call it an upset at this point, because Bunny Blasters, they continue to impress week after week. They did drop last week to Big Baller Brand 2-1 in the round of 8. But again, BBB, a team we've seen AG quite a bit now, but we're going to see Vile Virtues jumping up top here, trying to get Hippie off the high ground if possible, but they're just going to all fall back, look for Apply. Fitz the first to fall here. Now they're going to be in a good position, but with Guru being taken out of the mech here, it's potentially a chance for the offense to find a little bit of room to work with.
And now Wolf looking to try to take down Benji, finds the kill, but look at this, the defense surging back here, taking out Vile Virtues and Apply once again here. George Lion making sure to mitigate some of that pressure. Now they're going to be backing Wolf up, and this is going to be the first attack shut down here. Z9-hourNRG looking to get their respawns back into play, and they're holding on, making sure that they don't give up that bridge. Don't want to give away the choke at this point.
Already getting a minute off the clock is big for themselves, and George Lion coming up on that Dragon Blade. He's not going to have to worry about anything unless Plasma Snake can land a few more shots. Not really going to have to be too careful against the Transcendence here, but Apply being taken down early on, you gotta wonder if they still are going to move in. Yes, they are. They might have a chance to come back into this if they can find a pick here, but I just don't see it happening. Feeding a little bit more of that ult charge, they're going to pull back from this, cut their losses, and look for another re-engage now that they have some ults to work with.
A lot of ults stacking up here for both sides. I mean, if you look at this, they're going to have 5 ults on board for their attack, whereas, you know, it's almost 6 stacked up for the defense here. We're already seeing them feed around George Lion, trying to get aggressive here. We'll have to see which soldier makes the best of it. George Lion already with the kill inside the Transcendence, and this time it's going to be George Lion just jumping into this man.
But it's Apply out with his Dragon Blade, a late one at that. He waited out for that Sound Barrier and Transcendence to come through, and he carves them up like pumpkins here. Not an issue whatsoever for him. Excellent patience from the Genji player, and this should be a checkpoint secured. They do have Benji trying to outlast this one a little bit longer with his Primal Rage, but I don't think it's going to be really enough because they have no kills coming in their favor. I Am Root trying to contest. They have both supports back in the mix, but no beef on the point. And that should be a first checkpoint secured here for Z9-hourNRG.
I don't know. Son of God has still been cleaning up here. If he can take down Vile Virtues, he's in the sky. They find the kill. George Lion back on the point as well. He already took out both supports by himself. Wolf didn't look at him at all. Just wasn't respecting that Tracer. And because of that, look at this. This Tracer's about to clean up completely alongside the Genji as well. And man, they have backed them off again. Let that one slip.
What was that? I did not see that one coming. I thought that was checkpoint in the bag. I think Z9-hourNRG thought that was in the bag as well, but Son of God coming up clutch. George Lion and Hippie by Day getting back into the thick of things just when it mattered. They put only a tick onto the board. Now they're down to 50 seconds remaining here. No ultimates coming up other than a tactical visor really from the side of Z9. So Pulse Bomb's out there. Guru gonna be demeched early on because Son of God putting on the carry pants here. Transcendence out from both sides here, trying to negate any of that damage coming out from the Primal Rage to Winston if it really would amount to too much. But now Wolf coming out with the tactical visor. He's on the low ground though. He's going to be met with a Dragon Blade and a Defense Matrix. It's going to be George Lion in the back line, racking up the kills, down to 15 seconds. And it looks like Bunny Blasters have this in the bag. Maybe enough time for a staggered push onto the point from Z9.
We'll have to see. I mean, everybody coming back up from that respawn. They're trying to get in there. They only have 6 seconds to work with. Can Vile Virtues get in there? If he does, he won't be able to actually do much with it. A great blast coming out there from the self-destruct. Everybody is getting back over to the point. They have the overtime ticking here, Storm.
Still, they have a chance to contest if they possibly could find a way to get back into this. They have Guru getting back into the mech here, but Vile Virtues is too low to keep himself up. Benji still has his own Primal Rage to contest if they need it. Soundberry out from Ricky, trying to hold on as best they can here. This is all or nothing for the side of Z9. If they lose this fight, they are out of the tournament here, but they have a good point presence right here, Hurix, and getting rid of the Diva mech is going to be big. Benji and George Lion, the lone survivors. Can Son of God do it again?
I don't know. They're finding a lot of kills here. It looks like Fitz coming out with Guru. Maybe they can actually capture this point, and a nice pulse bomb coming out from Son of God. It looks like he's trying to make his magic work here on the point, taking down Vile Virtues, looking for Ricky next. That's going to be his next target. Apply. This time, we'll be able to shut it down alongside Wolf, and I think that will secure it in just a moment's time as soon as they can kill off this Diva.
I don't think it is, because George Lion is now back in the mix along with Benji. He has a Dragon Blade out as well. It's going to be George Lion this time, coming up big for his team. Guru, negative change over to Farah. He's not going to get back onto the point in time. And the DPS players for Bunny Blasters making their names known here in AG. A heck of a performance coming out from both George Lion and Son of God to wrap up Eichenwald. They hold them a full hold at that on Eichenwald Hurix, and that's going to be Bunny Blasters taking it 2-0 and moving into the semifinals tonight.
And they were so smart to start things off on Oasis. If we look back, we saw them lose control of the point very early on. Wolf had great sightlines to work with on the Soldier. They denied all of them, took the point back, were able to get back into there. Bunny Blasters with just such a good performance here all across the board. We can see this play of the game coming out. Apply, of course, from Z9 did perform quite well, but just not enough. The team just wasn't there. You know, Son of God was able to just clean up on that point. George Lion came back in as well. Really good stuff, especially from the DPS players of Bunny Blasters. But overall, this team is looking